wonder what my dad is up to.
Good morning, Mrs. Brown. Please address me as Mrs. Citizen Brown. I'm sorry, Mrs. Citizen Brown. It's just a thing. I worked so hard to get that title.
Oh, welcome back to the Future.
Hey, what's my guitar doing out here?
Your mother and I convinced you to give it up, remember? Rock and roll music is frowned on by the Brown administration. It sets a poor example for all the kids who look up to you as a model of studiousness and moral gravity. And besides,
I don't want no kids.
you're not
looking
very
up to
good.
me. Unless I'm stamping their
Come on,
head.
Dad, I need that guitar.
Give me one good reason why I should give it back to you.
Because... rock and roll is my density. Destiny.
Destiny? What would you know about destiny? Now quit
Destiny.
fooling around and get back to your studies.
Okay, bro.
A certain girl is only gonna like me if I can play the guitar.
A certain girl? You don't mean...
Jennifer.
Oh, Martin. Why are you fixated
Oh,
on that little
Martin.
hellion? She's nothing but trouble.
Yeah, my kind of trouble.
And besides, the way you play guitar, you're only gonna drive her further Go ahead, son.
No way.
Do your worst.
Thanks, Dad.
Another day in Hill Valley. The perfect place to live. That wasn't a note of irony in your voice, was it, citizen?
I saw Mom downtown. She told me to give this to you.
Thanks.
Say, what gives around here?
Ah, you know, the usual. Keeping
Ugh.
tabs on Hill Valley through my trusty bank of monitors. Always on the lookout for some interesting footage.
Interesting. What do you mean, interesting?
What kind of silly question is that? I've been gathering candid documentary footage for Citizen Brown's promotional videos for over a year now. I know your mother doesn't approve of my work, but wait a minute. You say you saw Lorraine? 11 to 12 hair salon, 12 to 12:20 lunch at soup mo counter, cream of asparagus with crackers.
What was that?
You know your
Crackers.
mother's problems. If she slips up again, it could mean demerits for the whole family. There she is, polishing the statue in the park. Just like the schedule dictates. Oh, then everything's fine. Good. Unless... How was she when you spoke to her? Lucid? Sober?
What are you getting at? Jeez, I'm not gonna rat my own mom, even if she is a...
Shh. I don't know for sure that your mother has relapsed into her old ways, but she's been acting very odd lately, almost as if she didn't like
Okay.
my constant supervision. Confidentially, I suspect she's got a flask hidden somewhere, probably very near the spot where she's working right now. Do me a favor, son, will you? See if you can worm the truth out of her. She won't confide in me, but she may be less guarded with you. Double rations this week if you help your old man out. What do you say? That's a good boy.
Okay, Dad, we need to talk. What's the deal with the house, Dad?
Don't know how to tell you this, son, but while you were away at your mathemagic competition, our house got slapped with a CZ36 violation.
What?
I know, it's so embarrassing. Your mother's mortified. She works so hard to keep a clean house, but those dust mites are so hard to keep down.
Wait a minute, we can't go into the house because of dust mites?
Well, not until they send in the cleanup crew.
This is ridiculous.
Thank goodness they let me move my office out here into the garage.
Well, I'll leave you to your snooping.
Supervising, son, supervising. Oh!
Is that what you were trying to hide from me when I showed up?
This? This is, I might as well tell you. After all, you'll be 18 soon.
Tell me what?
Hill Valley under Citizen Brown is not quite the contented town you were led to believe it was.
Oh, really?
I don't believe
I
it.
don't
This
believe
isn't a
it.
criticism of the great man himself, of course, or his sainted wife, Edna. No one's worked harder than they to apply the most advanced social planning techniques to our municipality. But,
What?
confidentially, not everybody appreciates it. A great many citizens, perhaps even the majority, actively resent the Brown administration. They don't say so publicly, of course. But in private, well, just listen.
I tell you, Bert, this regime is a joke. They're all laughing at us over in Fairfax.
A toast to Citizen Brown. May his beloved courthouse be struck by lightning. Shh, Agnes, you're awful. Are you coming to the town square, Lester? Citizen Brown's about to give another speech.
Citizen Brown can kiss my hairy...
Well, you get the idea.
Sounds like people can't stand what the Browns have done to Hill Valley.
Not everyone. Only around 50%, maybe 60.
Does Citizen Brown know?
He should. Whenever I send copies of my raw footage to the Public Relations Department over at the courthouse, I get a memo telling me how much Citizen Brown thanks me for my service. But how could he see those videos and not do anything about it?
Maybe you should take your tapes directly to Brown.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, sure, he might appreciate my bringing these problems to his attention and reward me for my public service, but then again, they say it's never wise to be the bearer of bad news.
I'll leave you to it.
Right.
Hey, demerit? Hey, what for? Insufficiently polished shoes. Good day, citizen.
Should I talk more to George?
Dad? Yo,
Sure,
Dad.
you know what?
Oh, hello, son. What's on your mind?
Okay, Dad, we need to talk. It's about me.
I'm all ears.
Well,
What am I like?
from certain things I've heard, I get the idea that people in this town regard Marty McFly as a
As a what?
nerd.
They said that?
In so many words.
Just because a boy studies hard and gets straight A's and respects the rules and doesn't party or drink or stay out late and is perhaps a bit socially inept and obsessed with personal hygiene and prefers his rubber band collection
Stop.
to...
I really don't want to hear anymore.
I'm proud of you, son.
You,
Where can I find-
Is there anywhere you expect me to be, like, right now?
Well, I did expect you to be up at the lake until tomorrow with that math-and-magic competition, so I guess your time is pretty much your own right now.
I'm trying to understand why Jennifer broke up with me in this time. Recent past.
Are you still mooning over that girl? Forget her! She's bad news. Why, my surveillance cameras have caught her doing things that are completely against the Hill Valley Code.
I don't want to know.
Kissing boys. Sitting with boys in cars. I've kept quiet about it for her father's sake, but believe me, you're well rid of her.
I guess so.
Okay, different subject.
Yeah?
So about you and your, work.
Shoot.
This is fun.
You seem to be really into this spying business.
It's not spying, son. It's cinema verite. These candid moments of Hill Valley's residents will eventually be compiled and edited into the documentaries and promotional materials that advertise our way of life to the rest of the world. True, you can argue that I've taken things to extremes, but I still get up to take my meals and, of course, to use the facilities.
You're supposed to
Okay.
be... I mean, wouldn't you rather spend your time writing, say, science fiction novels?
Science fiction. I did mess around with it once, but that was before Citizen Brown made it illegal.
Science fiction's illegal?
Sci-fi promotes an unhealthy obsession with the fantastic and impossible, and it encourages the idea that there might be better societies than Hill Valley, which is subversive nonsense, of course.
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay, different subject.
Yeah?
It's about Mom.
Let's go, Mom.
How'd she get to be such a mess? This isn't how she is in my perfect world.
You're right, it's a real puzzle. Because of course we both know Hill Valley is a perfect world, but for some peculiar reason, the harder I try to get her to conform to the rules, the more she slips up.
Cool.
She's thinking about signing up for the Citizen Plus program.
Is she now?
You're not gonna let her go through with it, are you?
Well, from what I hear, it's a fairly drastic procedure which completely reshapes the subject's personality. On the other hand, if Citizen Brown recommends it, it's gotta be a good thing.
Oh yeah, totally.
Don't you think Mom would be a little more relaxed if you gave her just a little bit of space?
Now, there's a fine suggestion. What would Hill Valley be like if people gave each other space? Why, we'd all be tempted to follow our own impulses, and there's no telling where that might lead.
Okay, you have gone crazy.
Something on your mind?
Yes, there is.
Why don't you give me those videotapes? I'll take them to Citizen Brown.
Thanks for offering, son, but I don't want to get you involved. Citizen Brown won't like what he sees on them, and I wouldn't want you to get the brunt of his displeasure. Not to mention the displeasure of all the folks on the tapes. Once they find out I recorded them, no, I'm not letting these tapes out of my sight. It's too dangerous.
It's about someone we both know.
Yes?
Tell me
Have you
about
seen Biff lately?
Not since he went to the reconditioning center. Is he back among the living?
Depends on what you mean by living. He's
Living.
really different from the way I remember him.
Lucky dog. In a way, it isn't fair that Hill Valley's biggest scofflaw should be the first to receive the benefits of the new Citizens Plus program. But I know I shouldn't be jealous.
Why, does that get you in trouble too?
Have you ever spent time with Citizen Brown?
Well, of course I'm in the audience for every one of his public addresses.
One-on-one, I mean.
Oh, no. He'd never notice a common Sector
Oh,
L citizen like
no.
me. But I dream that someday he'll recognize me for my public service and maybe let me shake his hand.
No
What can
way.
you tell me about Edna?
Mrs. Citizen Brown? Oh, she's a wonderful woman. People just think of her as this
Are you
sweet,
sure?
self-effacing grandmotherly type.
Edna? Are we talking about the
But
same?
really, she's just as involved in running the town as her husband is.
Okay.
David
Jeez.
and Linda.
Have you heard from them?
No, I thought maybe you had.
Not in ages. As far as I know, he's still working for the big city newspaper, and she's still in that women's boarding house. I'll never understand why they decided to leave Hill Valley. Something on your mind?
Hill Valley has a lot of rules.
It certainly does, for our own good.
Are you sure?
Public kissing is illegal, right?
Ah, the old PDA law. Indeed it is. And what's more, violation carries a hefty load of demerits. But you know, it's a law people break with surprising regularity. Why, I could show you videotaped evidence.
How exactly do people get other people to break it?
On second thought, perhaps I shouldn't show you the videotaped evidence.
Public kissing is
Oh,
illegal,
come on.
right?
Ah, the old PDA law. Indeed it
Oh.
is. And what's more, violation carries a
fucking
hefty
question,
load of
ain't it?
demerits. But you know, it's a law people break with surprising regularity. Why, I could show you videotaped evidence.
How exactly do people get other people to break it?
On second thought, perhaps I shouldn't show you the videotaped evidence.
If I got caught with a contraband item, I'd get in a lot of trouble, right?
You certainly would. You could be facing up to 1,000 demerits, depending on the item. But of course, you wouldn't be caught dead with anything illegal. It's your mother I'm worried about.
Oh yeah, sure. Do we have
Did
a
you
dog?
ever harbor a dangerous animal?
Aha! Couldn't if I wanted to. They've all been banned. But I did catch something very interesting on one of my monitors yesterday. Which one was it? Oh, yes. Does that look like a stray dog to you? Whatever it is, Edna's
Okay.
Animal Patrol will make short work of it.
Oh no, not that doggy.
Something on your mind?
So, when's
What's
this dust mite problem gonna be solved so I can get to all my stuff?
Well, the cleanup crew said they'd probably get around to it by tonight, but they're kind of backed up, so I wouldn't expect them until tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow? Where am I supposed to sleep?
I got it all covered, son. We're gonna camp out back just like we did when you were little.
Okay, this timeline is officially a nightmare.
Yeah.
Hill Valley has a lot of rules.
It certainly does, for our own good.
Okay, different subject.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How exactly does this setup work?
I'm glad to see you taking an interest. Each of these monitors is connected to multiple cameras, of which I've strategically jacked into throughout the valley, with official clearance, of course. I can switch between cameras with these buttons. There's also a VCR for each monitor. I keep a record of everything I see, so if I happen across something intriguing, I can keep it on file.
Intriguing.
Well, I'll leave you to your snooping.
Supervising, son, supervising.
I'll leave you to it.
Right.
Hey, I hear you got hit with some more demerits, Nathan. Good on you, I say. Sure, never trust a guy with less than 1,000 demerits, right?
So I'm just sorting things out right now. Alright, what next? Oh yeah, we should talk to Lorraine. Squawk box.
What's the problem, citizen?
Oops, wrong number.
Oops, wrong number. Hardy. Oh, okay. Lorraine, tell me.
Mom? Mom, are you drinking again?
Don't be silly, dear. Booze is illegal, you know.
Yeah, Mom. It's just that Dad mentioned.
Your father. Why, I just can't get away from his prying eyes. Always spying, always watching. You mind your own business, George.
Now, Lorraine, this is for your own good. I know you're keeping a secret from me.
It's mine to keep.
Dad! Mom! Knock it off, you two!
Now, you listen here, young man. This is an adult matter between your mother and me.
Dad, I know, but your way isn't working. You gotta give her some space here.
Huh? Where'd she go?
Mom?
Aha! I knew it. What is that in your hand? Rum? Gin? A wine cooler?
For your information,
Divorce
it's
paper.
brass cleaner. I have a job to do here, you know.
Lorraine?
Yeah.
No.
Lorraine, I'm just trying to look out for you. You know the kind of trouble we can get into if you're drinking again.
George, I wouldn't be so on edge if you weren't suffocating me all the time.
Commemorating on the 25th day of August this year of our Lord, 1931, the capture and incarceration of
Jesus.
Irving Kid Tannen and the disbanding of his criminal syndicate by the heroic efforts and ingenious mind of our beloved first citizen, Emmett Lathrop Brown, by virtue of his experimental rocket car. Edna must have written that. Mom? I'm having a bad day, Mom. Can I ask you a few things?
We all have our share, son.
I, lost
What
my
have I been up
timesheet.
to?
What have I got going on this week?
Well, Monday is Junior Brown Brigade,
Junior what now?
and Tuesday is Model UN.
Model UN.
Mm-hmm. You represent Djibouti. On Wednesday, you'll be overseeing the board game club at the rec center.
Okay, I've heard enough. I saw Jennifer earlier today.
Oh, Jennifer. What a spunky gal. Are you two patching things up?
She totally blew me off.
Well, I'm not the world's biggest dating expert, seeing as how I married the first guy to fall from the sky. But maybe you should spend a little less time with your microscopes and ant farms and a little more time tending to her needs. What kind of things is she passionate about, Martin? What are her interests?
I don't even know anymore.
You see,
You see,
Everyone is treating me like some sort of goody two-shoes, Mom.
they're just jealous that you're such a perfect citizen of Hill Valley.
Have I always been this way?
Always been a perfect little son. Going on 18 years now.
What about that time I set fire to the living room?
Oh, but you only did that so you could show us the fire retardant you made with your chemistry set.
Heavy.
heavy indeed. More heavy.
All right, let's talk about something else.
Alrighty, dear.
This is me talking to the parents.
So, what's up with Dad?
Indeed. What is up with him?
That setup in his garage is pretty intense.
That's not the word I'd use. More like creepy.
I heard that.
It's true.
I feel like I don't know anybody anymore.
Well, Martin, that could be a sign you need to get out more.
Is there any way I could talk to Citizen Brown?
Oh, you know how difficult that is, Martin. The great man spends so much time coming up with new rules and demerits that he barely has time to talk to us anymore. I guess that's the price we pay for a safe, happy city.
So he doesn't see anyone?
Not unless someone starts rolling up the demerits. He still takes a personal interest in those situations. And of course you could talk to Mrs. Brown.
Clara?
No, silly. Edna.
Edna Strickland?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Wait,
god.
Doc, Citizen Brown is married to Edna Strickland?
Did you get a bump on the head or something? They've been happily married for nearly 40 years. In fact, if you ask me, I think Edna wears the pants in the relationship. She's the one always announcing the day-to-day bulletins. Probably writes them herself.
I need to sit down.
Go right ahead.
Biff
Be my
seems, unusually mellow.
Well, he should be. He just finished the Citizen Plus program. So far, it looks like it's done him a world of good.
You don't think he seems a bit off? I mean, he's so un-Biff.
Well, isn't that the point? You remember what he used to be like? He was an unholy terror.
He wasn't that bad.
Now, sure, but you should have seen him in high school.
I can imagine. What do you think of Jennifer, Mom?
Well, she certainly looked like quite a handful, dear. I was really hoping some of her, joie de vivre would have rubbed off on you.
What do you mean by that?
Well, Martin, you can be a little uptight sometimes.
Jeez, don't sugarcoat it, Mom.
Well, maybe you needed to hear it. There's nothing wrong with having priorities in life. Just maybe Jennifer should have been a little higher on your list.
Yeah, she should.
Well, you did buy that guitar. That's a step in the right direction. Women love musicians. Just keep practicing, and I'm sure you'll get better.
What are you talking about? I'm a great musician.
That's the spirit.
Jen's
Looks like
dad
that
doesn't
was
seem to
pretty
like
fun.
me very much.
He's just a little stressed out, dear. Filling the crime-stomping shoes of his legendary father makes poor Danny Jr. a little twitchy.
So I see.
But he gets the job done. Between him and his father, Hill Valley's been as dry as the Sahara Desert for decades now. Unfortunately.
Dry. Doc was right. We did overdo it. Alright, let's talk about something else.
Alrighty, dear.
Is it just me, or does Hill Valley feel really strict today?
Some might even call it stifling. But you didn't hear that from me.
People are hearing that.
Alright, let's talk about something else.
Alrighty, dear.
Alright guys, looks like I have to leave it here. I think I just talked to the adults. That's it. That's all I did today. So, yeah, it wasn't that fun, but hey. That's the whole game. So anyway guys, as always, goodbye.